Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Paul, as usual, because I do a lot of these now. Basically, I want to just do a very quick first opinions on a couple of games that I bought this week. The first one being Yooka-Laylee. Now, this was done by, a new company, Playtonic, made up of several ex-Rare staff who obviously plied the trade on the N64 and made the extremely amazing, because I still love this, Banjo-Kazooie, and obviously a load of other games as well. Banjo-Kazooie has always been like one of my favourite N64 games since I started collecting for it. The N64 that is, probably about 2 years ago now, because I've said on the show before, just not keen on Mario 64, but with Banjo-Kazooie, that's a game that I've always found quite enjoyable. Although I still never got around to playing the second one, mainly because even though I can play it on emulation, I do want to get it, physically. But I'm mainly just determined to finish that Super Play Top 100. Anyway, what I wanted to do was just give a quick few thoughts about Yooka-Laylee, because I know it's had a mixture of opinions and reviews, some good, some absolutely awful, really ripping into it, but I've only played it really now for just a couple of hours, so it's just going to be very first basic opinions on the game, and then what I will be doing is broadcast a bit of footage over the next couple of days, and just make sure I'm giving my opinion on what's happening on the screen, and just see if my opinions of it, my early opinions, do change. Now, as everyone's probably aware, Yooka-Laylee had an amazing Kickstarter, smashing its target in a matter of hours. We had Kev Bayliss, ex-Rare, on the show last year, and he just joined Playtonic doing the graphics for this game. And I know that one of the Kickstarter rewards was, if you backed it, an N64 version of it, which sounds absolutely amazing. I can't remember if it was a playable cart or what, but I know that comes in, the N64 box and everything like that. So it looked amazing when I saw the pictures on Twitter. So even though I could have got Yooka-Laylee on digital, I wanted to get it on physical copy. Now, it doesn't come with a manual like a lot of games nowadays, just obviously the disc. I still hate that, that's quite common knowledge really. But what it did come with, going from my local game shop, is some art cards and these are like really nice and glossy, of some of the main characters. So yeah, not bad. Nice little extra, because, especially seeing you don't get the manual anymore. So, basically, dead straightforward storyline. Just having to go on with worlds. I'm going to try not to make too many comparisons to Banjo-Kazooie, but it's that same sort of game, which I know a lot of people have criticised it for, because you're thinking, it's 20 years on, things should have changed. But I can see why Playtonic have kept that same sort of... See, if I use the term collectathon, it's not quite as bad as what I was expecting when I heard reviews, because everyone's like, oh, you just got to collect this, and you've got to collect this many of that, and so on, and so on. Now, it is that to a point, because you've got basically, oh God, what's it called? Capital B, the B... bad guy. He's basically stolen all the books in the land, all the different worlds, and then as Yooka and Laylee, you've got to go around and collect the pages back to make this big golden tome, which will obviously bring him down. I know I'm being a bit vague there, but like I say, I've not read too much on it on purpose, because I enjoy seeing the story progress. So you're obviously having to go around the land, collect these pages, which are trapped in cages, and if anyone's watched the Yooka-Laylee rap, you'll know how, much of a, it just gets stuck in your head. It really, really does, you know, this whole song. So you're going around collecting pages, and then if you collect a certain number of pages, you can then expand the universe and go to other little parts of that world, and then, you know, it's opening up more and more areas to go and explore and things like that. Now, what I've experienced is that I feel like the pace of the game, I think, is quite good, because like I say, I've only played it for a couple of hours, but it gives you a bit of a ease into it by I think it's called Towser. It's either Towser or Trouser. I think it's pretty sure it's Towser, the snake. And he's basically a businessman, and the one thing that you can collect are golden quills. Now, by collecting a certain amount of these, so like I say, you don't have to, but if you want to obviously get, you know, somewhere in the game, you are going to have to, you know, be collecting, well, I suppose as many as possible, because every level or every world has got so many in there, just like, you know, Banjo-Kazooie, when you're collecting the jiggies and you know, things like that. But when you get 30 golden quills, you can basically get a new skill. Now, some of these are needed to do little errands, complete little missions as well, to get extra pages. So the more pages you get, you've got a better chance to get through the game a bit quicker as well. Expand the worlds. So, for example, I've just expanded my first world. I needed 3 pages, and then that's opened up a bit more of the first area, well, the first world, and yeah, it looks absolutely stunning. I mean, that's the first thing. I've seen some people say it's very jittery in regards to how it runs. People saying the PC version is a bit to run, I think 60 frames per second. Again, I'm going to be honest, I've said it before, I'm not that technical, so I don't really pick up on stuff like this. If it was a case of I was moving the characters and they were really, really jerky, you know, I pick up on that, but it seems to be quite smooth, so I've not had any issues in regards to going, God, this, you know, plays awful or anything like that. The graphics are obviously very, very bright, colourful. It's got its tongue firmly in its cheek because it's got a lot of humour, poking fun of the sort of 90s video game culture. For example, there's a couple of mini games you can play. I'm sure it's called like Rex or something that's like dinosaur. Again, I'm terrible with the names. But he's got like a massive arcade machine, and you find a coin on the level and you get to go to his arcade machine and play one of the mini games. Now, you can play these mini games as well without having to, you know, go into the main story and play them. So I was playing one which was just basically like a little go-kart track. So if anyone played like the very early 80s games, sort of like from the viewpoint of, say, supercars, racing around the track, and then if you get a high score, or you manage to get around all the laps, it'll give you a pagie. I'm really not saying that, you know, wrong or anything like that. They actually are called pages, P-A-G-I-E. So it's good though that you can actually just go onto these arcade games, because I think it was about 10 altogether, mixture of genres, and then you can have 2 to 4 players as well. I've just basically played in 1 player, having a quick go. But when you talk to, you know, the guy at the arcade, it's just things like, oh yeah, I'm just going to save you a high score on a memory card, and you've got the bat Laylee just going, a memory what? You know, because like no one uses memory cards anymore. But it's just things like that. If you're, say, my age or thereabouts, and obviously you experienced, you know, that sort of 90s video game era, you can't help but laugh. You know, it really does poke fun of itself. And again, the same character is like going, oh yeah, I'm waiting for my friends to turn up. They're doing some on the line play or something, and it's like, oh, how long have you been waiting for your friends? Since 1997. Because obviously online gaming's a lot popular, and something that I've said so many times, we play less games, you know, in the same room as people nowadays, especially like over the last 10 years. Anyway, back to the actual game itself. As said, yeah, looks absolutely stunning. A lot of humour in it. I paid just short of £30 for this. I know you can get it in Tesco for 30 quid as well. I think on PlayStation Store it was 35. I also don't know how it's going to sell. I don't know if it's going to plummet in value, you know, or end up in sales or anything like that. Hopefully it won't. Now, I know, like I say, a few people have criticised it, but at the end of the day, it's Playtonic's first game under their company. Granted, they've worked in the industry before, but it's not like... well, it's a funny one, because I know you have games such as... I know, like, Dino Dini's done Kick-Off Revival, which I know has had its critics. And then I know you've got John Hare doing Sociable Soccer. And then obviously Playtonic have done a game a bit like, well, quite a lot like Banjo-Kazooie. But it's whether or not there's enough different in it, you know what I mean, to like move that genre on a little bit, to modernise things. Now, I personally feel like they have done that. Because unlike with football games, how you've got... so many, you know, like that have come and gone over the years. You know, it's all about Pro Evo or FIFA. Whereas something like Yooka-Laylee, there's not really that many platform games, you know, like which, you know, kids can pick up and play. I mean, granted, you have Ratchet and Clank. I know you've got Crash Bandicoot, the remastered one's coming out very, very soon. But there's just a massive lack of, you know, decent titles. Now, I think this is something that people can get into. I feel like if there have been criticisms, you know, of the game, hopefully they'll get, you know, picked up and then acted upon. Again, I've not seen anything that I don't like just yet, but I say it's only been a couple of hours. So what I will be doing over this next couple of days, as said, playing the game and broadcasting some footage, just so you can see it running as well. Like I say, this part is just a very quick thoughts and very first opinions. So yeah, that's it on Yooka-Laylee. But the other game that I bought, which I've been playing more at night time, because obviously having the little one in the room, it's probably not the best thing to have on. And I got Resident Evil 7. Now, I got this pre-owned. I traded in like loads of stuff for this and Yooka, and it was like 35 quid. So not a bad price, because it's held its price as well, something that a lot of recent games aren't doing at the moment. And, well, first of all, I've not got the PlayStation VR, which I'm actually glad about, because this is scary enough. I'm going to sound like a wuss, but this is scary enough playing it just standard. To play this in VR, I'd probably shit myself. I'm not just saying that, because it's made me jump so much. Now, it starts off and more or less throws you straight into it. I'm sure some of you now will have obviously played Resi 7. You obviously go and looking for, I'm pretty sure it's your girlfriend, you know, Mia, who sent you an email. So you go in looking for her. You meet is it Bakers? Yeah, Bakers. For some reason I keep thinking Barker. So it's, you know, you get captured, the amount of gore in it, and not just gore for gore's sake, whereas something like the original Resident Evil, you know, broke down gaming boundaries. I feel like this takes it in such a new direction. It's got some of those sort of same Resident Evil tropes in regards to picking things up, you know, to solve puzzles and stuff like that, combining items, you know, so obviously you do find yourself with a couple of guns and things like that and a knife, but it's absolutely terrifying. Now again, I've only played that for a couple of hours, moving along at quite a decent pace and everything like that. I said very, very gory. One of the goriest games that I've played for a while. I do wonder if PT had come out, if that'd have gone down, you know, a similar route. But yeah, if anyone's not played Resident 7 yet, definitely worth getting if you're into your horror stuff. But I said, really violent, really jumpy. I was telling my wife about it. She's not interested. She just doesn't want anything to do with that. Well, that's why in the room. Speaking of which, just the last thing about basically, well, my wife's opinion on Yooka-Laylee. I know that they've kept the same style of the voices of characters of going like you know, just gibberish rather than using actual voice actors and things like that. So the gibberish on the screen, and you know, that did put her off straight away. She goes, I can't listen to just blah, 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 you know, and just wittering on and then slightly different pitch on the next character, which made me laugh. But yeah, that doesn't bother me. I think, yeah, I will get back into that, and I think at some point I will broadcast even some footage on Resi as well. Anyway, that's all from that. Like I say, it was only a very quick video, really, just a few initial thoughts. Again, if you play the games, tell us what you think. And hopefully, you know, I'm not the only person who's, you know, giving Yooka-Laylee the thumbs up at the moment. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. But yeah, luckily I've got a few days to really get stuck into these. And again, keep listening to the show, keep watching the videos. I will be doing another Super Nintendo magazine video in the next day or two. We've had to have, sadly, a little bit of a shake-up with a couple of episodes coming up. So the second one, I'll just basic cards on the table now. Second one this month, as I think I mentioned already, won't be another Super Nintendo one now till next month, sadly. But I said, me and Julian, I've worked on something very popular. I'll obviously just put it out there now. We've gone for the point and click genre, something that was very, very popular back in the late 80s, 90s, and has made a bit of a comeback now, you know, recently. Just slightly updated, you know, things like the Walking Dead game, and Telltale titles, but also with Thimbleweed Park making its recent release, and then things like HD remastered versions of Grim Fandango and Full Throttle. So yeah, that's it really for me. Again, thank you for watching, and again, I'll be back with another video very, very soon. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.